All right, we're here. Everybody. How about Northwestern State run ruling LSU last night in Baton Rouge? Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know if you saw it, Zach, but supposedly Northwestern State was using an illegal player. Like someone who was not approved eligibility-wise or something. Supposedly that complaint was also filed before the LSU game. And Milton, yeah, a lot of upsets last night. We'll go over, but there were a lot of upsets. Stream has been on fire lately. Thanks, Barks. That guy yesterday was like, "You're not live on YouTube yet?" Yes, I am. I'm looking at it right now. It's definitely live on YouTube. It's live. I'm looking at it. I can see it right there. All right, Dusty? So what's up, fellas? What's up, Coog? Did you see the scene at Penn State last night? Over 6,000 fans and looked like an insane environment. I did not, actually. That's awesome, though. Let me see if I can find it. Penn State's got like a really solid facility, man. It looks like a nice minor league ballpark is kind of how the style of it. But they beat West Virginia last night, big time. 5-minute lag from Twitter to YouTube, by the way. I think you just are. I like that can't be right. Let me see. It's like 30 seconds, maybe. Free attendance for Penn. Yeah, they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot of interesting stuff to get people to the ballpark. Again, like if it's free to come in, I guarantee you people are going to spend way more money in concessions. They're going to buy beer. They're going to buy food. Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures of the game. It does look sick. Penn State used to double as a short season team. It looks, I mean, it's uncanny. I mean, Dusty, like you look at it and you're like, that's a minor league stadium. Like it's a nice minor league stadium. That's what it looks like. Pitcher from my local high school is committed to Penn State. Nice. Hey, Gambino's trying to turn Penn State into and he's doing a good job. I mean, they're already playing really well. But the Penn State Stadium is sick, man. It's 100% a minor league stadium, though. It's got the exact layout and look of a minor league stadium. Now I see why Gambino left BC for Penn State. Yeah, I mean, I know someone really close to Gambino, and it was just, Penn State basically said, like, we're going to give you support. Like, we're going to give you support. So, of course you're going to leave. Heard a lot of interesting stuff this morning, talking to some coaches. A lot of people feel, I mean, there's going to be, let's just say it like this, there's going to be a lot of movement. A lot of coaches feel like this summer there's going to be a lot of movement with coaches. A lot of movement. How's the high school bracket look? You getting fired up? We play Mount Bethel first on Friday. Like, that should be, again, we got to take care of business, but we should win that series in 2 games. Then we play... the winner of the Walker School, and Fellowship. So that'll be a good series, like two really solid teams. Fellowship's in the top 10. the Walker School is definitely a top 10 caliber team. And so, I mean, first round, it may be like a little easier, but second round, third, it's going to get like serious. Is Georgia State playoffs best 2 out of 3 rounds? Yes, it's best 2 out of 3 in Georgia State playoffs. So it's a 3-game series every round. It's 5 rounds. 5 rounds. It's just 3-game series matchups. And like in Georgia, the private schools that are in 3A, 2A, and 1A are all in the same bracket. So we'll be playing against some 3A schools, some 2A schools. Florida just moved to the best 2 out of 3 rounds till the state finals. And then the state finals is what? 1 game? That's ridiculous if that's true. If we all threw in a few bucks, how much would it take to hear the unedited version of what your dad had to say about the Acuna debacle? I mean, he would say exactly the same thing I said, Danny. I mean, that's like there is a forever stain on the Atlanta Braves, especially the relationship between Acuna and Snitker and the rest of his teammates. That's bad teammate stuff right there. Like that's bad teammate stuff. You know the only people that would do something like that? That's a bad teammate. There's no other explanation for it. So if you've been in the game at the minor league level, even at the high level in college or the big league level, the only type of person that would tweet something like that about a teammate is a bad teammate. That's it. And I don't want to insinuate anything, but I don't know what time of night he was sending that tweet. Maybe something else was going on. But to me, like, that's bad teammate stuff. There's just no way to get around it. And again, that you can't take it back. That's like unfortunate, man. It doesn't matter how much they make in amends or anything. It's just it's bad. State finals are 4 teams in each class, single elimination. Okay. So it's like a round robin single elimination. 2 out of 3 all the way through for Georgia State playoffs. Yep. That's a weird 4-team single elimination. That's strange. Why not just do 2 out of 3 rest of the way? Where do y'all play the state finals at in Georgia? I know it's been at the... His Twitter got hacked, man. Shut up, Dusty. You know that's not true. You know that's not true. It was at Gwinnett, the Braves AAA. I think it's been at Truist, maybe. So I don't know. I know it was at Gwinnett for a while. I don't know if it's changed to Truist or not. Told my fiance I was going to lock myself in my man cave watching college baseball this weekend. Good for you. Good. Let me know how that goes, White House. Let me know if how that goes. You can get away with that typically until you have kids, and then it's just you got like a certain amount of years before that's something that can happen again. Thoughts on Chipper's response to this? I didn't see Chipper's response. Barks, can you fill me in on what he said? I mean, I can imagine what he said. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. Cunha with tools for days, but clearly an absolute clown. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I think Like I think it's pretty clear that like Acuna is, again, I'm sure guys do like him, but I think it's pretty clear that he's just not a good teammate. And that says a lot because, I remember a bunch of dudes sticking up for him when like he was getting hit a bunch. And it's just unfortunate. Because Dusty's right. The bottom line is Acuna is untouchable. But like, that sucks. Like you want the guy who you're paying a bunch of money and is your face, your franchise, to be like the leader of the team. And that's unfortunate that, he's making a tweet like that. But Dusty is right. Like they're not going to do anything to Acuna. He's just that talented. But it's just unfortunate that he created the media firestorm that he did. Texas A&M will be the most watched series of the season. Storylines write themselves. Zach, why do you put that at the end every time you write about you post about Texas A&M? But you're right. I think 100% it will be the most watched series. There's no doubt in my mind. Wish the series was in College Station. Oh my gosh! I mean, I can guarantee you A&M's going to travel though. A&M's going to travel big time. Bottom line is Acuna is on. Yep, you already said that. Still have to be a good team guy. You're right, Dusty. Not sure they could even trade Acuna if they wanted to because the contract is so team friendly. Except maybe Yankees. No team has enough to offer to offset his ability and contract. Yeah. You can. I mean, why would you? You got him on such a team friendly deal. Why would you trade him? Like, look at what Juan Soto got. Look at what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got. Acuna's contract is like. Let me just pull up Acuna's contract. Acuna is making $100,000 over 8 years. All right, can you guys compare that to Juan Soto and Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? I mean, like let's be real. That's a ridiculous contract for Ronald Acuna. I just mean in a team-friendly way. Yeah, he's making $17 million a year. So, like, you can't trade him. There's just no way. He's one of the best players in baseball when he's healthy. Now, the problem is the last couple of years, the guy keeps getting hurt. I mean, 7 years in the major leagues. He's a 290 career hitter, 380 on base, 525 slugging. And he's got 200 stolen bases as well. You think Juan Soto is overpaid? That type of money is for a player with defense, speed, and all 5 tools. Yeah, I think he is 100%. Like Ronald Acuna, that makes sense for him, right? Because he is a 5-tool player. He steals bases, plays really good defense. He's got a cannon. Like defensively, he's got it all. Offensively, he's got it all. And so it's amazing to see that that's one of the most team friendly deals in the history of the game. $100 million over 8 years. It's insane. It's literally insane. No one is taking the Javi Baez contract. Yeah. And again, I mean, like, are you kidding me? You know how many people they could, the thing is that I don't think the Braves should trade Ronald Acuna, but they could get a huge deal because like this contract is ridiculous. And he's going to get the thing that's crazy is he's going to get crazy paid after next year as long as he can like stay semi healthy. He's gonna get stupid. He may get $1 billion contract if he let's say he plays like he has so far, and he remains healthy for the next year and a half. He may get $1 billion contract from the Yankees or the Mets. Who knows? Or the Dodgers. Although the Dodgers may have to start slowing down soon. Imagine if A&M sweeps this series this weekend. That will be... I mean, at that point, like what? They get to... Let me pull up the... Who is he? Indy 500 test and this at the same time? Help me. Who is he? Who do you mean, who is he? All right, so right now, A&M is 8-10. If they sweep, they're 11-10 with 9 games remaining. Like they could definitely play into a host. Because it looks like right now, if you're like 16-14 in the SEC, you're getting a host spot. Who might get $1 billion? Ronald Acuna. Because he's going to be like 26 or 20. What's he going to be? 27 or 28? Still in his prime. You're going to get like 3 or 4 years of his prime. Bobby Witt Jr. is worth far more than $288 million. Yeah. There's a lot of guys signing the team-friendly deals, though. And it makes sense because, like, in reality, what's the difference between like 288 and 500? That's what he got paid? No, I'm saying Acuna signed a very, very, very team-friendly deal. 8 years, $100 million, a long time ago, like 6 years ago. So he's got this year and next year left on his contract, and when that contract is up, he's going to get a huge thing. Is he worth $1 billion? He doesn't sell jerseys. He will in New York. 100%. What do you think about the Vlad Jr. contract? I think it's overpaid. I think he's overpaid. Again, I think he's really good. I don't think he will age very well. But his body type does not age well, which means like eventually you're going to be regretting paying him that much money for that long a period of time. But you had to overpay for him to stay. Yeah, that's probably the case. So, I mean, again, sometimes that's the only way to get a deal done. I'm just saying they overpaid. But in reality, that's what, if you talk to most agents, that's what they say is generally, a player's first 3 years before arbitration is underpaid. Then in arbitration, he's kind of getting closer. He's maybe still underpaid, but he's more closely paid to how much he's worth to the organization. And then in free agency, like you just get overpaid, generally speaking. All right, let's look at some of these scores from last night, and then we'll look at the weekend coming up. By the way, guys, it is my birthday today. So, just throwing it out there. I am 34 years old today. Dude, and you know what also is crazy to me? Like, D1 baseball staff was like freaking out that Oregon State beat Gonzaga. And they're like, Gonzaga's, leading the West Coast Conference, and you look at their overall record, they're 18-19. It's just like Oregon State has like literally has to do the least amount of things to get like hype and praise. It's insane. Like, I get it. They're 32-7, but they've played nobody. They really haven't played anybody. Happy birthday, Kyle. Thanks, man. West Virginia lost to Penn State. That was a big win for Penn State. Coastal Carolina got beat by College of Charleston. Tennessee dominated Lipscomb. Florida State beat Stetson 11-6. Kentucky dominated Louisville 17-5. Alabama beat Stanford 11-7. Vandy lost to Middle Tennessee. If it is his birthday, happy birthday to our future coach. Thanks, Canes. Troy beat Alabama State. Mississippi State lost to Ole Miss. Texas beat Texas State with that grand slam late in the game we all saw last night. Arkansas dominated Little Rock 10-0. Oral Roberts beat Oklahoma. Northwestern State run-ruled LSU. Georgia Tech lost 1-0 to Auburn. Clemson beat Georgia 3-0. Literally both Georgia Power 4 teams right now are not looking good. Who is the NAIA school McNeese State lost to? We'll find it. Portland beat Oregon 10-9. Holy upset city so far. UC Irvine beat UCLA. And they're playing Cal Poly this weekend. Tulane and Southern Miss got canceled. Presbyterian and North Carolina got canceled. East Carolina and North Carolina State got canceled. Why are all these games getting canceled? All right, let's look for McNeese State. Louisiana, is it Louisiana Christian that beat McNeese? Yeah, Louisiana Christian. If GT Bats gets silenced by Virginia, will you be worried? Yes. Again, you're not necessarily worried about them making the tournament, but then all of a sudden you're thinking, like, you got to win the 2 remaining series to be 18-12 and hopefully get a host. And again, with what I'm seeing, like 18-12 in my mind should be an instant host. That should be a regional host in the ACC. But what you're seeing is a lot of the projections. It's like not like that. It's may not even be good enough to get a host. But I think you're definitely worried about Georgia Tech's bats. It's not a question if they will come back at some point. The question is this lull going to last too long, and it's going to make it to where Georgia Tech does not get a host? That's the issue. Is it going to impact that many more games where it makes the hosting chances go out the window? That's the issue. Another day, another game where Georgia Tech offense makes an okay, decent arm look like Greg Maddux. Yeah, and again, I mean, I think it's a little unfair to say it, Burke, just because before the last 5 games, Georgia Tech's offense was averaging over 10 runs a game. And in the last 5, they've scored 8 runs. So you're talking about one of the most elite offenses in the country that's just gone like stone cold. So the hope is if you're a Georgia Tech fan, they'll come back at some point. What's the chance Louisville takes the series over Florida State? There's a decent chance, man. Louisville's good. Florida State is not like, don't get me wrong, they're really good, but like they're not unbeatable, you know? What's up, Kyle? Or what's up, Kyle? You know Texty channeling Dusty. Remember, Max Williams is suspended the first 2 games. Yep. I shouldn't talk Georgia Tech smack on your birthday. That's rude of me. I apologize. Yeah, no worries. I know. I mean, you're right. Like for the last 5 games, they have done that. Like there's no question. But before these last 5 games, every pitcher in the country was terrified for them coming to town. And the question is just how long is it going to take for them to wake up? Will it be Friday? That's the hope, but you just don't know. And I think they definitely need. And I was talking to a coach this morning, and he made a good point. He said, "Well, you have to like if you think about it, for most of the season, you've had Caleb Daniel in the 3-hole, freshman, Alex Hernandez in the 4-hole, freshman, and they've performed really, really well. The question is, are they coming back down to earth now? And are you can't maybe they should no longer be your 3-4 hitters." And he also mentioned, I mean, listen, Georgia Tech's you're starting to feel they're really missing Kent Schmidt's bat in the lineup. And that's another question mark. Like, is Kent Schmidt even going to play the rest of the year? I mean, I know a staph infection can last a long time, but it's been like what 5 weeks now. Happy birthday! You look great for 45. Shut up, Buck. Don't even say that. 34. Freshmen now have a book out of them, so they're pitching them differently. I'm sure if Frosch gets challenged with fastballs to see if they can hit it. No doubt. No doubt. And maybe there's been some weaknesses identified. I will say, again, like the book is kind of like, to be honest, like I don't know. I just see the same strategy by a lot of pitching coaches. It's just like we throw a bunch of sliders and you kind of, the strategy now is like you just kind of pitch backwards. Unless you like to like really, unless they have like a 95 plus fastball, everything I see is we're just going to get ahead with a slider. Like it's a complete reverse of what the old strategy used to be, which is we're just going to get ahead with the fastball down and away. Now it's we're just going to throw a get over slider first pitch for strike 1. And we may throw it again if we get strike 1. And then we can use the fastball as kind of like a get them off the slider pitch, right? Which was the exact opposite. It used to be command the fastball, strike 1. Okay, fastball down and away again. See if he'll put it in play. All right, it's a strike. Now we're going to throw a strikeout slider. And if that doesn't work, we'll go back to the fastball. And then pitchers adjust. Yeah, that's true. And I will say, Like a lot of freshmen, this is about the time of the year where they start kind of getting fatigued. It's the most baseball they've ever played in their life. Right? It's just the most baseball they've played at a high level. Where you practicing every day, weight room every day, all of that stuff, and you got class and things you got to prepare for. So just mentally and physically, it's a huge drain on you your freshman year. And some guys start to kind of fade at the end. I know I did my freshman year. I've told you guys. I mean, I went into the ACC tournament hitting like 375. And by the end of the regional, I hit 340. So I dropped 35 points in like literally a week and a half, 2 weeks. I just could not get the barrel to the baseball. It was a pretty brutal collapse. And again, it was just like, it was 100 degrees outside. My body was toast. Would love to know the percentage of breaking balls versus fastballs this year. I think, generally speaking, overall, it's probably like 50-50 or maybe even more off speed, which is crazy. But that's what it is. I know in Major League Baseball, this is the second or third year with more off speed than fastball. Some guys are near 40% now. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's probably the same in college baseball. And like I've said, the problem, one mistake you see coaches make a lot at the college game is they take whatever is being done at the big league level and say, well, that's what they're doing in the big leagues. That's what we need to do that in college because that's, obviously the best thing to do. But what they forget is that the caliber of player at the big leagues is light years ahead of the average player in college. Just it's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even close. So when you apply strategy being used in the big leagues with big league players to college players, it's not going to work out the same. It's just not. And I think you see a lot of pitchers struggling because of that. Some guys have great feel for a slider and they can throw it for strikes, and that may be the best route to go for them. But a lot of guys need to establish that fastball to gain confidence with all their other pitches. And if they don't ever establish it, they lose fastball. Like this is something you see a lot now, is what you see is when guys have to throw a strike, they can't throw a strike with their fastball because they haven't established that confidence of commanding it. And so like in a 2-0 count or a 3-1 count, and you're like, you know what? In this situation, we're just going to challenge them. They throw a fastball. It's not even close to zone because they're not throwing it. That's not their main pitch. And 10 years ago, that was everybody's main pitch. Now it's not. That's Fabio right now. He was batting literally 401 during the Pitt series. Now he's batting 265 in less than 3 weeks. Yeah. Wonder what the percentage was 10 years ago versus now. Oh, I can guarantee you it was like in the 65% range on average for pitchers. I mean, I remember facing bullpen guys all the time that it was like 80% fastballs or 75% fastballs. That was normal because they all threw, like in AA and AAA, they all throw around 100 or close to it. So they're throwing fastballs. Interesting the success Liam Doyle is having through 70 to 80%, throwing 70 to 80% fastballs. However, he has a ton of ride on his, so it's a real weapon. Not many in college baseball have that. Yeah, for sure. But again, I think, unfortunately, like, don't get me wrong. There's certain hitters in a lineup. Like, let's take Georgia Tech, for example. There's 3 or 4 hitters in there you don't want to throw a fastball to. Like Drew Burris, Kyle Lodice, maybe Alex Hernandez. But then the other 6, I have no problem throwing them fastballs. Like, I don't think they're consistently going to just get me. You know what I mean? And again, it's not like you're not throwing them a fastball every pitch, but you want to start them out with a fastball and get strike 1. So I think that's the issue is what we've taken a lot. What you see in college is you've taken, well, the big leagues are throwing a bunch off speed. Well, that's a big league hitter in the lineup, man. Like they're facing big league hitters with like juiced balls out the wazoo. Now the balls in college are juiced out the wazoo too, but they're not big league hitters. They're college hitters. They're just out of high school. Most of them couldn't tell you the difference between their ass and a hole in the ground. Like that. That's how much they know about hitting. If you make it to the big leagues as a hitter, generally you have a very intricate and in-depth understanding of how to hit. Liam Doyle is currently the number 1 pitcher in D1, and you'll never guess who is number 2. FAU pitcher? I don't know, Canes. Who is it? There's that reliever for Ole Miss that scouts are hyped on. I like the reliever from Clemson, Melstadt or whatever his name is. He's nasty, and he knows how to pitch. He just has a weird angle. He kind of reminds me of Carson Palmquist from the right side a little bit. Dusty Isaacs, how have we arrived at the point where a fastball is guaranteed to get hit? Or like, why are we trying to sneak fastballs into a sequence? Yeah, it's like all of a sudden fastball is like a pitch you just can't throw anymore. And again, the whole thing with a fastball, it's funny because like it's not like 15 years ago they thought, oh, well, we have to throw fastballs, we have to throw strikes. The whole idea behind it was a well-located fastball is the best pitch in baseball. That's the old saying, right? It's not, well, just throw fastballs wherever you can in the zone. It's like everyone knew if you threw a fastball over the middle of the plate, it's getting crushed, right? Especially at the pro level, not necessarily at the college level. But like we've basically I guess we've just thrown out the door that like a down and away fastball can be trained, and it's like a pitch that like almost no hitter first pitch is going to swing at that. Like I'm seeing guys take 2-strike fastballs middle in. Like I think that's the move. I think hitters now are just not used to hitting fastballs. They're just like they're used to hitting off speed, and they're like they see a fastball middle in, they take it for strike 3. So again, it's not just about fastballs. I don't know why we've like Dusty, I just got the Randy Carroll happy birthday text, by the way. But again, it's weird that we've basically just thrown out. I think it's one of those like we've thrown out the baby with the bathwater. It's just kind of we've been like, oh, the fastball is not a good pitch to hit. And it's like, well, what's the batting average on a fastball in the bottom left quadrant, the down and away quadrant to hitters? I bet the numbers aren't good. And that should be a pitch you can be trained to throw, but we've kind of just like forgotten about it. I think a moving, riding 4-seam or sinking 2-seam are the most important pitches. Some are straight, and you have to be careful with that. Find a way through release point and finger pressure to get movement. Yeah. I mean, it's like, all right, if you got a ride fastball, throw it at the top of the zone. If you got a sinker, like throw it at the bottom of the zone. I don't understand. I mean, again, the problem I'm seeing is like let's forget like guys with like just average fastballs, whatever. I'm seeing guys who have run and sink, they're right-handed, and they're facing a right-handed hitter, and we're throwing nothing but sliders. Guys, the toughest pitch for a hitter to hit is a same arm side 2-seam /sinker that runs in under your hands. That is the hardest pitch for a hitter to like stay inside and put a good swing on. Those are the worst at bats because if they throw it correctly, it looks like it's middle in and then it blows you up. Like there's just nothing you can do. It's so hard to get inside it. And again, that's why a cutter is so effective, like a true cutter, not this BS you see all over like social media. It's like, oh, he's throwing a cutty. He's throwing a 4-seam cutty. And it's like this average, it's like a slider basically, but they call it a cutter. A true cutter from the hitter's perspective looks like it's accelerating as it cuts. It doesn't do this like, it looks like it's getting harder as it cuts. That's a true cutter. But like every pitcher in the world now has got like a little cutty, four seam cutty, and it's not an effective pitch. Like the guys with that kind of cutter get lit up. But so again, like a true cutter, a true sinker has the same impact on, for a cutter, the opposite side hitter. So a right-handed pitcher to a lefty, same thing. A cutter that comes in, like bores in on you. It's very hard to get inside it because your eyes are telling you at release, all right, the pitch is coming middle in. And then, so your swing is already kind of being pushed towards the middle in. And then as it cuts in or as it runs and sinks in, you're like, oh, and you got to adjust the path. And nowadays, these guys don't have any ability to adjust their path. They have no ability to manipulate the barrel and manipulate their bat path to fight inside. And so stuff like, I don't understand, like a right-handed sinker guy, I'm not throwing a slider until I get to 2 strikes. But you see it. I'm gonna gag if I have to read out loud what Dusty just said. I'm gonna gag. Some are straight, and you have to be careful with that. Find a way through release point. Yeah, you already said. I already read that. It's called a Cuddy 4, Kyle. Pairs well with a Ghost Fork and Dragon Split. Yeah, like can we talk about this for a second? These like ridiculous pitch names that are all like they're all pitches that have existed for 100 years. But it's like the spinning death ball and like it's like we have to act like we've invented a new pitch. And then you look at it, like guys like me look at it, it's like the Ghost Fork, and you're like, okay, it's a changeup, fork ball. Or it's like the Dragon Splitty, and you're like, okay, it's just like a low spin rate splitter that has been around forever. Any Asian pitcher you face in minor league baseball has one, and it almost looks like a knuckle because the spin rate is so low. Yeah, it's like it like literally. Here's the one that pisses me off the most is you see them talking about a sweeper like that's some new thing. Like that's some new thing. We called it? A sweeping slider. Gyro slider. Yeah, I mean it's so ridiculous, man. Kick change. Yes, death ball. Kick change is for guys who are supinators that can't get the pronation. I mean, it's just like, yeah, that's why guys threw split fingers, and that's why guys threw fork balls, because they couldn't throw a traditional change up the right way. But like, we have to come up with this ridiculous name and act like we just invented a new pitch. And to guys like me who played the game, we're just like, it's just like, again, it's like you have all these guys who never touched a field at a professional level, and some and not even in college, and they're like, they think they know everything, right? They think they're like a total expert in baseball, and it's no wonder pitching injuries are way up. I'm gonna say bad words, like guys can't hit anymore. Guys have no idea how to hit because they have a hitting coach that has no idea what he's talking about. All he talks to them about is mechanics, or they're at the plate and they're just thinking about like snapping it, or they're thinking about doing all these other dumb stuff. And like the game is going in the toilet. The big league game is going in the toilet, right? And it's because just across the game, they let a few of these analytics guys in. And again, that was smart. You want to have some kind of a competitive advantage. But as soon as the analytics guys got control, they said, see ya to all the old school baseball guys. It was like, nope, you don't know anything. You're an idiot. You don't know anything about the game. And this is the product we get now. This is the product we get on the field. The person that sits next to me, Brian Cohen, used to throw 2-seam slider. Now we're getting behind. A 2-seam slider, his dad told me. He said he would pitch, you would swing, and the pitch still hasn't crossed home plate. What the hell is a death ball? A death ball is like a pitch that Tread made up or something. Don't forget the Bugs Bunny curveball. Yep, Kyle ran on his birthday. Dusty Isaacs, 1 point. Guys can't hit a bad word. Guys can't hit is a bad word. We've gotten soft, haven't we? No, I mean, I was going to say something else is what I'm saying. Zach, I swear there are reputable people given a platform honestly calling a slider with depth a death ball Wish I was kidding. Yeah, it's like you can't just say it's like a like again we used to call it like a 11-5 slider, or like a 12-6 curveball. We have to call it something else entirely instead of it's just a curveball 12-6 or it's a curveball 11-5 or 11-6, whatever. And or sorry, 11-7. You know what I mean? Like we had ways to describe these, and then basically there's a lot of people out there right now. It's like the new fad. It's like we're just gonna take a pitch that's existed for 100 years, and we're gonna call it something else, and act like it's a new pitch. And every kid in their world around the game now is like, oh yeah, dude, this guy's death ball is gross, and you're like, it's a slider. It's a slider. And they put these ridiculous names on it, like a Cuddy 4. Cuddy 4. That sounds like something a 12-year-old would say. That's something a 12-year-old would say. It's a 4-seam cutter. Like, be a man and say it the right way. Death ball, like it's it's like a death ball. What does it like kill the hitter when he puts it in play? Like, why are we calling it a death ball? Why can't you just call it a 12-6 slider or something akin to that, or a depth slider, right? Why don't you just call it a depth slider? I don't know. But again, the one that gets me is the sweeper. It's like that's been around forever. We called it a sweeping slider. And then they come up and say like, oh, it's a sweep. He's throwing a sweeper. And they act like it's some new pitch that was invented. That's been around forever. Cuddy Sark. I wish people wouldn't think that home runs are the only thing you can do at the plate. Jazz Chisholm, for example, is hitting 159, trying to hit home runs, and every other at bat is a strikeout. Well, no, I mean, this is, and no offense, I know you guys are are kind of on my side, but I mean, this is what the fans wanted. Because I'll tell you, baseball is the one sport that when guys who played in the big leagues for 20 years and are Hall of Famers say something that disagrees with how baseball is run now, the fans jump all over them and say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're an idiot. I mean, you have literally Joe Schmo sitting at home on the couch telling like a guy like Chipper Jones he doesn't know what he's talking about. And like baseball's the only sport that's doing that. Like baseball is headed in a terrible direction because there's no other sport where like guys that have been in the big leagues and are telling you like the game's not looking good, guys. We got to change something. They go, yo, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I had a lesson the other week and the kid told me he had a new pitch called shift seam split chains. Yeah, the seam shifted wake stuff. I mean, like you talk about overanalyzing and just like you want to you want to talk that way to a professional player, sure. You talk that way to like a 13-year-old, he's never going to compete. Took all I had. Renball. In the MLB show, when you're pitching, some pitchers have sweeper as an option. Yeah, it's ridiculous. A sweeper is a slider where you work on the side of the ball instead of over the top, and that's where it ends. Yeah, that's the only difference. Like you're releasing it over here and you're releasing it on the side, right? You're getting around the ball instead of trying to get over here. Instead of trying to get here, you're here. You're here. And a sweeper, generally, you're like a lower arm slot. It's ridiculous. Jazz is not a good player. Yeah, I mean, but according to some guys, I had a guy tell me like a year and a half, 2 years ago, he's one of the best players in the big leagues. And I looked at him like, are you crazy? Can I create a new pitch, a fastball that you can consistently get a hitter out on? Yeah. Baseball, unfortunately, might be dead. Sad truth. It's sad, man. I mean, it is. I mean, the ratings are down. Nobody wants to. Even some fans are starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up to like, wait, I liked the whole OPS thing, but I didn't know that meant every hitter in our lineup was going to hit like 220. And now, like, you have a bunch of dudes hitting 220 in a major league lineup. Because batting average is meaningless. Batting average doesn't mean anything. RBIs don't mean anything. And those guys are running major league teams. They think RBIs are meaningless. All right, let's see this weekend coming up. Let's see what some of the series look like. Obviously, some of the bigger ones. I'm all worked up now, man. It's just like here's the thing, man. The reason it works me up is because, like, I remember growing up, my dad was like, when I was born, my dad was the assistant general manager of the Florida Marlins. And my whole life, he was either an assistant GM or a GM. So I watched baseball every day. I went to games all the time. I loved it. And to see where the game is at now compared to like 2000, let's say 20 years ago, 2020, 2005 to now, 2025, it's not even the same game. It's not even the same game. And what we're doing, we're letting guys who never step foot in a box at the professional level, and sometimes not even the college level, they're the big league hitting coach for major league teams. What? What? How is that possible? If you want to have a swing analyst, that's fine. But I've told you guys a million times, like, the last thing you're doing as a hitter in season is a mechanical adjustment. And that's all those guys know. They never stepped in the box. They never faced a guy that throws 100 with ride. They're going to tell you how to do it? From what experience? Well, according to the book and the spreadsheet, when the guy's pitch metrics look like this, and it's got this kind of inverted break and horizontal like this, I've heard you want to try to get on top. I don't know how you do that. What's the thought process? But that's what we should do. Like, that's literally what's going on in major league hitter meetings. I left the NBA years ago, and that's how my family makes its money. Wait, but I've also left the MLB for over... Wait, let me see. I'm usually ahead of the trends on the dying sports. Baseball isn't dead because I follow it. Wish the Orioles would hire Kyle Wren as our hitting coach. Our at-bats are trash. I mean, I can tell you there'd be an improvement. I believe in, you have to know when you're ready for things, but I mean, listen, you got guys who were like, they coached at the GCL for a year, which is like the lowest level where a lot of players are terrible. And then they were a minor league hitting coordinator after 1 year, and then they're a big league hitting coach in 2 years. There's guys that have played in the big leagues and coached in the minor leagues for a decade, and they've never been a big league hitting coach. But the guy who has no offense to Driveline, but the guy that has a Driveline certificate gets to be a big league hitting coach in like a year. It makes no sense. I left the NBA years ago, and that's how my family makes its money. Kyle rant alert. But I've also left the MLB over 12 years ago. So that has been dead. College is still the same and great. 100%. I hope the MLB doesn't turn into the NBA. The players run the NBA. Coaches and owners have no control. That's where we're getting, though. That's where we're heading. That's where we're heading. And let me explain why. When you have, especially in baseball, when you don't have, again, when you have a bunch of people on a coaching staff, and I'm not saying this is true of every organization, but this is true in a lot of them now. When you have a bunch of guys on a coaching staff that never sniffed professional baseball, you think that the players actually respect them in a deep sense? They probably, they're the coach, so they're going to be respectful, but they don't actually respect them. And when they say doesn't hold a lot of weight. So we're headed there. We're headed there. The MLB has been dead for longer than the NBA, Zach. That might be because of the Marlins down here for me. They've been dead to me since they traded Jose Reyes and changed the jerseys. And when Fernandez died. Yeah, for sure. I will probably watch the NBA again once LeBron retires. All right, let's look at some of these games coming up. Do we have any games Thursday? Let's see. We have Clemson, NC State. Top 25 matchup, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Missouri, Alabama. Of the top 25 matchups. Okay. Solid games. Those will all be really good. Will NC State, who's playing really well, will they be able to take down Clemson for the first time in ACC play? I only watched the Heat, Zach, and even those games aren't good. The Miami Heat haven't been the same to me since LeBron left. Yeah, for sure. North Carolina, Pittsburgh tomorrow. Florida State, Louisville, big weekend series. Southern Miss Appalachian State, Virginia, Georgia Tech. That's in Atlanta. Going to be a big one. Georgia Tech's got to get it figured out. Oklahoma, Georgia in Athens. That'll be a big one. Coastal Carolina, James Madison, Clemson, NC State, Wake Forest, West Virginia, UCF, Arkansas, Florida. This is again, Florida's in must win the rest of the way now. Missouri, Alabama. Can Missouri win a game in the SEC? We'll have to wait and see. Texas State and Troy. Texas State played Texas really well. It could be an upset this weekend. Auburn, Mississippi State. Mississippi State's starting to Mississippi State's in trouble now as well. They got to win the rest of the way. And I heard there could be some potential changes there after the season. Tennessee, LSU in Baton Rouge. That'll be a massive weekend series, only overshadowed by the A&M Texas series. Vandy, Ole Miss, Arizona, Texas Tech. A&M and Texas. This will be the most watched series all year, like Zach said. Oregon State about to be exposed by Oregon. Oh, God, I hope so. I really hope so. But you know what? They won't even get punished for it. They'll be like, well, Oregon's really good too. And like the Oregon State will still be in like the top 8. JD said on the weekly show that if we win today, we have a chance to win the season series against them. If we lose, our best chance is to split with them. Need to win. My bad, Oklahoma, Georgia. Yeah. LSU, Tennessee is a monster series. Think Baton Rouge will be crazy. It will be absolutely electric at Baton Rouge. Mississippi State changes. That is good news. Zach, I'll send you the players and let's get to work. Wilson Anderson, who's going to land him? Oregon State, Oregon, man. In Eugene, I hope Oregon sweeps them. I shouldn't say that. I mean, I think Oregon will win the series. I just think Oregon's better. UC Irvine, Cal Poly battle of the Big West for first place. That'll be a massive series, especially for like possible hosting and everything like that from Irvine. Penn State, UCLA, another big weekend series. Like Penn State playing well right now. Buck knows who Wilson Anderson is. So will you finally give the Beavs respect if they take the series from Oregon? Yeah, I will. I still will think they're overranked. Because there's a lot of teams that have played just as well as Oregon State, and they've played a conference schedule, and they're not playing like Cal State and Northridge on a weekend in the middle of the year, right? So I still think they're ranked. I will admit they are better than maybe even I think, but I'm still like it. I would still assume that they're way overranked from where they should be. Miami has 3 no-hitters this season against elite competition. He has also gotten ripped against some. Or man has 3 no-hitters. Okay. What side should I have with my wings this weekend? French fries? Duh. If Oregon sweeps Oregon State, I bet D1 Baseball keeps Oregon State as a national seed. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, man. And they will keep Oregon State in the top 10. Yep. I'll send you a player to make a move on, Kyle. Okay. Thank you. Beeves in Omaha. Dude, but like that could happen, but is it going to be because they have a cakewalk regional? Right? But I don't know. Martin Scheller plays for Marist High School in Atlanta. He's rated second highest rated commit on PG. Oh, yeah. He's really good. We actually have a guy on Marist team right now. Marist is one of the best high schools in Georgia for baseball. They're good every year. I promise Georgia Tech can offer more scholarships than Mississippi State, who doesn't have any in-state lottery or scholarship. They're going to do an Oregon State, Oregon regional for the hype. You know it. God. And I think that's what will happen if Georgia Tech is not a host. And we have to wait and see. Like, Georgia's starting to not play very well either. But if Georgia's a host, I think what you will see happen if one of Georgia or Georgia Tech is not a host, the one who's not a host will be the 2 seed at the other's regional. So if Georgia ends up not being a host and Georgia Tech is, Georgia will go to Georgia Tech. If Georgia ends up being a host and Georgia Tech doesn't, Georgia Tech will go to Georgia. That's just my thought, my view on it. I learned that from the film you told me to watch. Yeah. No, in Alabama, I believe Alabama is in the same boat as well. Alabama and Mississippi State both do not have like a in-state lottery thing that gives them like an in-state scholarship, like the Hope Scholarship. So they're both in that boat, which is why Auburn, which all those schools have to be big in NIL because you have to find a way to compete with the schools that have it. Do you think they'll ever go basketball style regional for basketball where they host it at larger stadiums and try to put teams that are roughly in that region, say minor league parks? I don't think so. Obviously, you can't do that in with Major League Baseball because like you're just going to have some major league teams are going to be at home and like there's just going to be somewhere where it doesn't work out, right? And you've got however 16 regionals, so you've got to hope that like just coordinating that with a big league stadium is not going to make sense. And then there's like the minor league stadiums as well. A lot of minor league stadiums, it would be the same issue because they're all playing, right? So you'd have to hope, like it'd have to be coordinated. It's just, it can't be coordinated enough because you don't find out who the regional host is until Selection Monday. And then a week later, you're playing in the regional, right? So you'd have to coordinate with the minor league teams of whether they're home or away. And it would be logistically, it wouldn't make sense. So I think for baseball, it only makes sense just at the schools that can host. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but the problem is just like logistically, it would be so. And also, what you have to think about is in certain regions, at certain minor league ballparks, you got to have enough hotels for 4 teams, parents, and fans to show up, right? So you want them all to be in like fairly big cities, and you have to have enough. You have to have enough hotels, everything to support a lot of people coming to the regional. And it's just again, it just doesn't make any sense other than just the schools that are capable of hosting. So I don't think you'll see a change there, unless again, if maybe when the super conference comes out and that changes things, who knows? But for right now, I don't see any changes happening. And football has now gone to on campus for round one. Yep. That's what I love about baseball. Postseason's at home. Why do fans have to travel when we earn the right to play at home? Yeah, it's a good point. All right, guys, I got to go. We got to get the team ready for the playoffs coming up in a few days. I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining. We'll be back again.